that will bring together the National Drought Management Authority and other stakeholders to assess the El Nino preparedness.
In that regard, next week I'll be convening the National Emergency Response Committee that I chair with all government agencies, development partners, the Red Cross, international organizations, and all other stakeholders to discuss our preparedness for the expected El Nino rains.
He says the government is in the process of constructing dams in different parts of the country which will store water to be used for food production.
In the long term, we are working on public-private partnership in building water harvesting structures, including dams across the country. This will help us take advantage of such large amounts of water for food production.
Gachagua, who spoke during International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Society Pan-African Conference, lauded the role that the Red Cross organization is playing in providing humanitarian assistance when natural disasters strike.
While it is the responsibility of governments to protect people from such disasters, the work of the Red Cross and the Red Crescent Society has been monumental and complementary to our efforts. You people are good people. Many people will not do what you do. They'll ask for huge amounts of money. Yours is a great sacrifice.
The Deputy President has called for an end to conflicts in the continent as they were derailing economic development.
Any conflict in our neighboring countries becomes a problem to our republic. That is why we have refugee camps in Dadaab, in Kakuma, everywhere. And it becomes a burden to this country in terms of resources and even destabilizes our own security.
Elsewhere, Kicho residents are now calling on President William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua to crack the whip on Kicho Governor Eric Mutai and his deputy Fred Kirui. The residents say the prolonged bad blood between the two has affected service delivery in the county.
Even after a warning by Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua for two to drop their public exchanges and reconcile, efforts to have both forge a united front has hit a snag. Their sour relationship has now become a cause of concern for residents, worried that service delivery is being relegated to the back burner as the two spar it out in public.
Sisi tumeumia sana, maendeleo hatupati. Tunataka hii safari iende kwa Deputy President atusaidie tuweze kutatua hii maneno ya Kicho County. Tumeumia sana na tunataka usaidizi wako Deputy President. Tumeumia kama raia wa Kicho County. Na tukiumia hata President mwenyewe anaumia kwa sababu anataka maendeleo.
The residents want President William Ruto and his deputy to crack the whip on the two to ensure they toe the line by reconciling.
Deputy governor na deputy yake anapigana kila wakati. Hakuna kazi tumefanya hapa Kicho. Ni kazi ya fita kila wakati. Lakini tunasema deputy president wewe Mungu wetu asaidie sisi. Aunganishe wa watoto ili Kicho aendelee na kazi.
Tunataka iende huko Nyeri vile Deputy President alisema.
Deputy Governor Fred Kirui has been on a war path with his boss, whom he has accused of failing to honor a pre-election agreement between them. Kirui also claimed that the governor has also sidelined him and allegedly assigned his duties to county executive committee members. Allegations Mutai dismisses as unfounded, accusing his deputy of engaging in sideshows. Timothy Kipnusu for Lunchtime News.
Moving on, Game Member of Parliament Elisha Odhiambo is calling on investigative agencies to probe alleged pilferage of public funds by top government officials in Siaya County. The legislator claims the corruption has hit mega scales that is a risk, denying residents of critical government services and development.
The Game Member of Parliament appeared to back claims by Deputy Governor William Odwol that the county had been hit by incidents of massive corruption. Odhiambo now wants investigations to be conducted to reveal the extent of the graft.
I'm also aware that 2 years ago there was an investigation going on the county of Siaya of an embezzlement of 300 million. I'm yet to see action at the county assembly. I'm calling on the national government, if we are serious about corruption, let us demonstrate from the county of Siaya.
The legislator claims that both the DCI and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission were holding up to 10 investigative files on alleged corruption, decrying slow action from the agencies.
I am aware that DCI and EACC has about 10 files that are ready for action. I am calling on government, I am calling on the president himself to save Siaya from theft.
Due to the alleged corruption, Odhiambo says residents risk being denied development and services.
Still on politics, a section of youth in Malava constituency, Kakamega County, affiliated to the UDA party, have dismissed threats by Senator Boni Halwale to leave the ruling party. The youth claim that the party is gaining traction in the opposition stronghold, will therefore turn their energies to registering more members.
While reacting to remarks by Halwale over the weekend that the party had been dominated by outsiders, youth drawn from Malava constituency have dismissed the remarks as self-seeking and reaffirmed their loyalty to their party.
Tuko imara kama wana UDA na hatutawacha chama chetu kisambaratike. Tuko hapo, wamama wanajua, vijana wanajua, viongozi wetu wote wanatambua kwamba Malava ni ngome ya UDA na tumesimama imara.
They further accused a section of leaders in the county of being fence-sitters, asking them to declare their commitment to the party publicly.
Lakini hawa watu wengine wanakuja kuharibu chama na kutoanisha chama, hatuta support hiyo.
The youth now say the party has made inroads in the opposition stronghold county and will therefore focus the energies on massive member recruitment ahead of the party's grassroots elections in December this year.
Yes. Na sisi kama wanachama tuko tayari kuenda kwa uchaguzi. Kwa hivyo tunawasihi wale wetu, wale wafuasi wetu ambao wako na nia ya kusimama viti vyovyote katika chama wafanye hivyo bila uoga.
Parsai Frederick reporting for Lunchtime News.
In other news, a visually impaired student who completed his Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education KCSE in the year 2021 and met all the qualifications for joining the university is yet to report to school. The family of George Oria Ojwang says the Kenya University and College Central Placement Service allegedly failed to assign him an institution with requisite amenities.
The family of George Oria Ojwang says the hope of getting their son to join the university is gradually fading away.
Against my results, there is a name of school that suggests my condition. SA High School for the Blind. That alone is evident to you that I am a blind student.
Despite the odds, George scored C+ in the 2021 KCSE.
I knew that academic work, paper-wise, is indispensable for a totally blind person of my caliber to be somebody of substance in future and a breadwinner too. I managed to toil very, very hard and qualified to join university.
He had received a letter from Masinde Muliro University, which couldn't admit him due to lack of facilities for persons with disabilities. After going back to the Kenya University and College Central Placement Service for reassignment numerous times, he has yet to get any response.
People are now reporting to school and I need placement. Why can't you place me? People are reporting, when will you place George Oria? I feel that my life is completely going to be demolished if I will have not gone to school.
The mother hopes that the family can get the much-needed reprieve and have their kin report to school soon. Isufar reporting for Lunchtime News.
Elsewhere, the government has been urged to protect Delmont, a fruit growing and processing company, from possible extinction as a result of dwindling farmland. The Federation of Kenya Employers and the company management have expressed concerns that the farm's land is under threat of disappearing following the recent ceding of huge portions to the counties of Murang'a and Kiambu. The Federation of and trade unionist officials have also defended the company, which has employed over 6,000 Kenyans directly, from accusations of abuse of human rights, claiming they had a right to protect their property. They spoke during the signing of collective bargaining agreements between Delmont Limited, Kenya Union of Commercial Food and Allied Workers and the Kenya Plantation and Allied Workers Union Trade Unionists.
Ukigawa hii shamba ujenge manyumba. Manake vile wanasema hawa wanasiasa wakitafuta mambo ya kugawa hii shamba, hawagawi shamba walime, watagawa shamba walete manyumba. Ni mambo ya flats na mambo mengine. Ukileta hizo, hawa wafanyikazi utapeleka wapi? Itakuwa wafanyikazi hawana kazi. Kwa hivyo sisi tunasema badala ya kugawa hii shamba inatakiwa zitafutwe hata zile ziko karibu, ndio hii kiwanda iendelee kuandika wafanyikazi waweze kutoa ushuru.
Delmont Kenya Limited ina employ wafanyikazi karibu 6,000. Na hao wafanyikazi 6,000 imefanya development mingi kwa hizi counties mbili. Kaunti ya Murang'a na kaunti ya Kiambu. Kwa sababu ile mshahara ambao wanapata hapa around 7 billion imeweza kujenga Thika Town, Kiambu na hata Murang'a. Kwa sababu wafanyikazi wanatoka katika hizo areas tatu. Na kwa hivyo tunataka kuambia governors ama wale ambao serikali ya counties, tunaomba hawa waweze kuipeleka kwa njia mzuri, kwa sababu taxes pia ambayo inatoka kwa serikali inatoka hapa.
Cross over to the county of Nakuru, where a land tussle pitting Nakuru County government and the Catholic Church is threatening to derail the construction of an early childhood development education center. Residents and area leaders claim the dispute began years ago, with the area chief writing to the church to keep off the land. The residents stopped the attempt by the church to fence the property that is located near Kenungi Primary School in Naivasha sub-county until the dispute was resolved. The church, on the other hand, claims to have all the legal documents proving the ownership of the land and that are ready to seek legal redress.
Sasa ile shida ambayo tuko nayo ni hii. Unawezaje chukua land ambayo belongs to public, ambayo hiyo land ni ya county government of Nakuru, kwa sababu ECD na Damside ni devolved, alafu unatuambia ati serikali kuu imekupatia land ambayo is supposed to be managed by the county government, alafu ikapatiwa kanisa ambayo ni private ijenge nyumba private. So sisi ndiposa tunasema ya kwamba land ambayo imechukuliwa hapo irudishwe. Vile tumeona ya kwamba even the process ambayo imefanywa it is illegal.
Mambo ya shamba letu ili tupeane mahali, kulikuwa wakati wote tunakutana, kunakuwa na hiyo minute inatekeleza ya kuonyesha hivyo tumesikizana. Kwa hivyo tulikuwa tunawauliza watoe hizo minute zile ziliwapatia hiyo ploti, lakini hawana minute yote. Wanasema ati walipewa na national government.
Sisi tuko na huzuni sana wakati tunasikia ni kanisa linachukua shamba la umma. Tuko na huzuni sana kwa sababu tunashindwa. Kanisa inafaa kuwa ikiongoza ama mstari mbele kutetea haki za wanakijiji, si ndivyo? Lakini kwa sasa kanisa ndio inaongoza kuzifinya. Sasa tunasikia huzuni sana, tunashindwa kwani hii kanisa inafuza malengo gani ya kidini?
County number 14, where the government is barking on bamboo planting as a critical intervention towards attaining a 30% tree cover target by the year 2032. Environment, Climate Change and Forestry Cabinet Secretary Soipan Tuya says the tree cover target by the Kenya Kwanza administration will be a significant driver towards green growth and climate resilience. This even as Kenya joined the rest of the world in commemorating World Bamboo Day in 2023, the national celebrations held at Kanyonga Wetland in Embu County. So the ministry, partners and locals participate in planting bamboo cuttings as parts of efforts to safeguard the vital water supply. The World Bamboo Day, set aside by World Bamboo Organization in 2009, aims to raise awareness on the importance of bamboo in sustainable development, poverty alleviation, environmental conservation, and cultural preservation.
Bamboo forms an integral part of the forest sector in Kenya since it provides vital ecosystem services to communities surrounding water catchment areas, wetlands, forested and agricultural landscapes, and these benefits extend to downstream communities. We are therefore working toward promoting investment in commercial bamboo production.
I want to promise you, Bwana PS, kwamba sisi as Embu County government, we are going to work very closely with your ministry, and we are going to work very closely with the entire department to ensure that we have enough tree cover for Embu County.
And so if we do reforestation using the bamboo in Mbere South, where a lot of trees have been cut because of charcoal, we are going to save our forests by planting bamboos.
We are big on bamboo because it has many benefits. When it comes to the ecological benefits, bamboo is very good when it comes to carbon sequestration. It is 3 times better in removing carbon from the air, 3 times better than a normal tree.
Further afield, President William Ruto has called on the international community to mobilize and direct resources towards addressing impediments to sustainable development goals. The president says aligning global capital with sustainable development goals is crucial for climate-positive growth.
President Ruto noted that many countries, especially in Africa, have been unable to implement SDG due to hindrances such as debt, inflation, climate shocks, and conflicts.
Data indicates that many countries are not making progress in the implementation of SDGs. The combination of multiple crises, such as the COVID-19 pandemic, extreme weather events, conflicts, and inflation has disrupted economies, leading to food and energy insecurity and impacting health and the cost of living.
The president made the remarks when he co-chaired the United Nations General Assembly Sustainable Development Goals Dialogue on applying science and technology innovation and data for transformative action alongside Slovenia President Nataša Pirc-Musar.
The time has come for the international community to mobilize adequate resources for common global finance mechanisms accessible to all, serving the global public good and unlocking the necessary private capital for research and development. For Africa in particular, such investment is urgently needed for evidence-based sustainable development and climate-positive growth.
Later, on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, Ruto held talks with the president of Albania, Bajram Begaj, who expressed his country's interest in opening an embassy in Kenya. The president also met Slovakia President Zuzana Kaptuvo, who committed to supporting Kenya's e-mobility initiatives using the advanced e-battery technologies. They also agreed to partner to enhance Kenya's fertilizer production and cybersecurity capacity. Beatrice Gatonyengetich, Lunchtime News.
Residents of Laikipia North are calling on the national government to boost the national government affirmative action funds to meet the increasing needs of the community. The residents claim the current allocation is strained by poverty and severe drought that has hit the region.
Laikipia Women Rep Jane Kagiri is leading the charge for increment of the budgetary allocation for the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, claiming the current allocation is insufficient to meet the needs of the people.
So sisi tungeomba William Samoei Ruto katika serikali yake ya bottom up, kuna jamii ya wafugaji ambao wanahitaji zaidi ya huduma kwa sababu hawako sawa na wale jamii wengine.
The appeal coming as Laikipia North continues to grapple with severe drought that has left residents relying on aid and well-wishers.
Tumepata pesa ya mama, tunashukuru, tunasema asante. Hiyo pesa tutaenda kununua naye shanga, tuanze kushona na kuuza.
Kagiri says leaders have been forced to explore various sources to provide sustainable support to the community owing to the insufficiency of the fund.
Kwa hivyo watu wa Laikipia tunaendelea kushikilia imani ati mambo itakuwa mazuri
watu wetu waweze kukuza chakula. Juu leo hata nikipatiana chakula ya leo, ya kesho hakuna. Kwa hivyo ni lazima tutafute suluhu ambayo itasaidia watu wetu ili wapate chakula yao ya kujitosheleza na pia ya kuuza.
In the face of the drought, the community has also been forced to transition from traditional cattle rearing to alternative means of livelihood.
Kama sasa hiyo kutengeneza hiyo ushanga tupelekewe na Honorable Kagiri kutatafutia market huko pande za Nairobi huko ama sehemu zingine ambayo itatuinua sisi kama jamii ya wafugaji pia.
John Junge for Lunchtime News.
Moving on, Kenya Union of Sugarcane Workers Secretary General Francis Wangara has dismissed proposals before the National Assembly to have Muhoroni and Chemelil sugar milling factories merged into one. Wangara said the two millers have operated independently and still have the capacity to do so. As such, the proposal to have them merged is ill-advised. Wangara also said the move is likely to have far-reaching consequences on the workers' welfare.
We know there is something taking place regarding the sugar industry, and more so the issue of revitalization of the sugar industry. This is a thorny issue in us because we know most of the companies have suffered, and the workers we represent have really suffered to the extent that the accumulated arrears is very huge. Even what the members of parliament were debating last week on Thursday, the figure they gave of 5-point-something billion salary arrears to the workers is not true. And we urge that the minister in concern of finance ministry, should send, in collaboration with the Minister of Agriculture, they should send the team on the ground to audit and find out the exact amount of what is owed to the workers. Our estimate runs to around 8-point-something billion, not 5-point-something billion. The salaries that have indicated of arrears of about 11 months is not true. Workers are owed up to 20-something months salary arrears. Like in Chemelil, it's quite a lot of, so many months. In Muhoroni, the workers cannot even remember when they last earned their full salary. It's so many, it's now years back. They are just being paid fraction salaries. So we believe that the accumulated arrears is far much beyond that, and it must be addressed. The issue of merging, we totally disagree with the decision of merging Moroni and Biwani, and I think it has also been mentioned by the members of parliament who have said they don't support the issue of merging. Whoever is discussing this, I think it is very clear we don't support the merging because this is not the first time the government is trying to privatize these companies or releasing out. In the first attempt, we had quotations for each company, and the people had quoted, the people had shown interest in Kennedy had given their quotation. Those ones who had shown interest in Moroni, there was nobody who had quoted that he wanted them to be matched. This is a thinking that should be forgotten. We don't want to entertain that. Because we do that, our members are going to lose jobs. And it will take time. You know, putting up a huge factory is not something you can imagine today, that tomorrow you are putting, like now, if you match Moroni and Chemelil today and say all cane that was going to Moroni will all go to Chemelil. Chemelil has no capacity to crush all that cane. It doesn't have that capacity.
The government has been urged to crack the whip on sexual harassment of traders along the Kenya-Uganda border. Speaking during a consultative forum in Busia, a section of women traders accused some law enforcement officers of illegal search and blackmail. They want the government to ensure the protection of traders from such officers, saying it is hurting their business.
Kwa nchi nyingine kuna ile discrimination, ule askari anakuona kwamba ni kama umeenda kunyang'anya mali pale, rasilimali za mali pale. So kitu yenye anatumia ni kukuharass na kukuandamine na kuona kwamba wewe haujui sheria yoyote about ya EAC. Anaweza akatumia lolote, maana wewe uko kwa nchi yao. Sasa anaweza akatumia jambo lolote kukuwekea kuona kwamba ameweka vizingiti ili usifanye biashara.
Kakamega Woman Representative Elsie Muhanda has called on counties to prioritize healthcare budgets as a means of achieving the universal healthcare agenda. She spoke during a medical camp organized by her foundation where residents dealing with different ailments were treated for free. The medical camp was a shot in the arm as most of the residents have had to travel for long distances to seek medical attention, straining their resources.
Ndio mimi nimeleta madawa hapa mashinani, nimeleta madaktari hapa mashinani wasaidie watu wetu. Kuna watu wetu pia hata wameshikwa na funza. Shida ni mingi. Watu wetu wanaonelea ya kwamba badala ya kununua dawa, kwa maana pesa ni kidogo, hiyo pesa wanunue korokoro. Ndio mimi kama mama nimeanzisha hii Elsie Foundation yenye inaleta hii huduma huku mashinani.
Mimi kama kiongozi, mimi kama MCA wa area hii, naomba serikali yetu iwe na mikakati ya kuwekeza mashinani ili wananchi wasiteseke. Jambo la pili, nataka pia nishukuru mama county kwa sababu siku ya leo kuleta huduma mashinani na kuleta wananchi karibu na kuandikisha vitambulisho hapa, birth certificates hapa, na kila kitu, hata cash transfers zenye wanaandikisha. Nimeona huduma zote ziko hapa.
Nataka nishukuru mama county kwa ile kazi ambayo anajaribu kufanyia wananchi wa chini, watu wa chini kabisa. Mama county, tafadhali utushike mkono hivyo. Hata kama mzigo umeegezewa mzigo, pambana nayo. Kesho mazigo haigandi, Mungu ndiye anajua ya kesho.
Ametuletea hapa matibabu. Sisi tunatafuta tawa kwa ile Shinyalu CTF hatupati. Lakini saa hii tumepata matibabu kutoka kwa mama county. Kwa hivyo sisi tunamuinua, tunasema mama county anafanya kazi iliyo mzuri.
Very well, at about 28 minutes past the top of the hour, we are due for our break. On the other side of this break, we'll be having business and also the latest from the world of sports.
These are the moments we live for every Friday as we catch up with the world of football.
Manchester City go in front.
With your favorite stars in rivalries like no other that keeps you on the edge of your seat. Learn a few tricks that keep you ahead of the game and spice it all with unforgettable moments on Dunda Dunda. On Saturday, you're in for another treat as we rock your weekend with all sporting disciplines, bringing you insights on what's happening behind the scenes as we share players and athlete stories, preparations, and celebrate their achievements.
Charging to the line. Is it going to be a world record? Yes, it is! She smashed it!
Whatever angle you look at, we've got you covered. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
1 year in office, 23 ministries. Time to review the journey in implementing the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. What is your assessment of the government's performance? Will they ace the performance test? Tune in to KBC News at 9 p.m. for the government scorecard.
Are you looking?
Welcome back and thanks for keeping it KBC. Moving on, Nakuru residents have been urged to take advantage of the on-rainy season to plant more trees so as to restore the ecosystem and mitigate the effects of climate change. According to Wanjiko Njoroge, founder of Planet Patrons Kenya, a non-governmental organization focused on environmental conservation, trees play a key role in restoring biodiversity, improving air quality, and addressing climate change impacts such as drought and flooding. Wanjiko called on all Kenyans to plant trees during their children's birthday celebrations at their homes, workplaces, schools, and institutions, and nurture them to maturity so as to promote forest cover and reverse the adverse effects of climate change.
When we teach our children how to plant trees, it is something that they're going to grow with. That means in future, we shall not be having so many environmental issues. And also by the fact that the carbon credit law was passed, also the parents will benefit from this. So I encourage everybody to join us in the birthday forest, invite us wherever you are. And at the same time, also be aware that we have the El Nino coming. Prepare for El Nino. Let the government institutions also help us see what we can do. You as an individual do something, don't just wait for the government.
Meru University of Science and Technology has partnered with Tianjin City Vocational College of China in a learning and training exchange program aimed at ensuring that students and lecturers from both institutions conduct their learning and training on e-commerce and ICT, as well as innovations and research through online platforms. Addressing learners during the initiation ceremony for Kenya Luban Workshop Subcenter at Meru University's main campus in Meru County, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Romanus Odhiambo, assured that the workshop will expose students and improve creativity amongst them in terms of ICT innovations.
We have provided a workshop, an engineering workshop, a Luban workshop that will not only expose our students for those who are reading, but also it will give them opportunity to think creatively, innovatively in terms of the ICT innovations, in terms of the new knowledge that they raise, in terms of the research that they do. And I can only say that the future is bright for them.
Let's now make sense of shillings and cents in business. We begin in Laikipia, where the government has commenced construction works of an aggregated industrial park in Laikipia County. Investments, Trade and Industrial Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria says the park will offer value additions for tomatoes, maize milling, abattoir and tanneries for hides and skins.
Last year, the government announced the construction of county aggregation and industrial parks, which are aimed at unlocking the industrial potential of counties across the country. President William Ruto said the rollout of the program will broaden opportunities for Kenyans and boost economic growth. The rollout is being implemented in Laikipia County, with the construction of the industrial park well underway on a 300-acre piece of land. Investments, Trade and Industries Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria says the park will offer value addition for tomatoes, maize milling, abattoir and tanneries for hides and skins.
Patia pesa wanunue equipment zile zinaitwa county aggregation, common user facility. Hata hiyo machine ya kufanya tomato sauce, wewe utakuja hapa unakondisha, unatumia nusu saa, unalipa pesa kidogo, unapatua tomato sauce, unaweza kujiuzia wewe mwenyewe.
Kujenga manyumba hapa karibu ndio hawa watu watakaokuja wapate mahali pa kuishi. Wakati wanatengeneza hayo manyumba, waandike vijana wetu, kwa sababu hiyo ndio bottom up.
Further, The park is expected to be a leading agro-processing hub for farmers in the region to nurture them to get international and local market.
Wa plumbing wafike hapa, watu wa stima na wa kuchimba pia wafike hapa. Kazi imeanza kutoka leo.
So far, the construction of the parks has begun in various counties including Isiolo, Busia, Nyamira, Bungoma and Kakamega. Frederick Muki for Lunchtime News.
Elsewhere, the National Geological Survey has so far identified 970 key mineral sites in all the 47 counties in the country. Mining Cabinet Secretary Salim Mvurya says the government plans to increase revenue from the mining sector from the current 1% of the gross domestic product to 10% in the next 3 years.
Records indicate that the mining sector's contribution to Kenya's gross domestic product has hovered between 0.7 and 2.1% in 5 years through 2022. With reforms well underway, the government hopes to improve revenues from the sector through structured interventions.
We are also identifying key value addition centers across the country because we are carrying out we are doing a value addition and mineral processing policy so that we can reduce the amount of minerals that are exported raw.
Kenya has proven deposits of titanium in Kwale, gold in Western Kenya, and coal at Miu Basin, Kitui County. In addition, the country is believed to hold significant deposits of copper, niobium, manganese, and rare earth metals, which largely remain underexploited, dwarfing the mining sector's contribution to the national economic output.
The mineral value addition and processing policy will help us to create jobs, but also to address the value chain in the mining sector.
Part of the sector's revival plans includes empowering artisanal miners and weeding out unscrupulous actors.
We also want to organize the artisanal miners into cooperative societies so that they can access training and facilitate them and link them with financial institutions so that they can have proper equipment. We will be able to cancel over 1,500 licenses that have been inactive.
Total earnings from mining production last year increased 16.6% to 35.2 billion shillings, but experts predict the country still has a huge untapped potential. Alanauko, Lunchtime News.
Now, farmers in arid and semi-arid counties are embracing chicken rearing as a climate change mitigation measure. Under the Kenya Crops and Dairy Market Systems project, farmers are rearing chicken to generate fertilizer for their farms.
Experienced 5 consecutive seasons of fade rain, reducing agricultural production, especially in arid and semi-arid areas. The cost of food production have increased after global fertilizer prices rose. To mitigate against external shocks, USAID-funded Kenya Crops and Dairy Market System project are supporting residents of arid counties of Kitui, Kajiado, Makueni and Taita Taveta to rear chicken.
How will the farmers, the smallholder farmers, be able to have an income despite the prevailing situation of the drought? One, then it looks at through poultry. Poultry is it's a value chain that can be done by many.
Under the project, buyers contract farmers to rear chicken.
Tuko na 8,000 contracted poultry farmers in Makueni, Kitui na Taita Taveta.
The slaughterhouses provide farmers with chicks at subsidized price and later on purchase mature chicken.
Ndizo sasa naendelea kuuza. Nikimaliza kuuza, niko na mpango wa extend hiyo nyumba ndio ninunue zingine kubwa. Nataka kuwa mkulima wa kuku. Nataka kujenga nyumba kubwa. Nianze kulisha kuku. Na bado niko na layers. Nilichukua 100 na bado zinaendelea kukua.
Nimeona faida ya hii kuku kwa sababu saa zile ninalisha, ninauza zingine nilishe hizo kwa sababu kama ilikuwa hatari sana.
The farmers rear indigenous and broiler chicken breeds.
Napata chakula ile ya ndukani. Sometimes now tafuta mahindi, cowpeas, dengu na shaka na mix then na replace tu na hiyo ya sokoni.
In an integrated farming system, some farmers under the project rear chicken for manure production as a substitute for synthetic fertilizer.
Upande wa shambani, nowadays I don't buy fertilizer, natumia mbolea ya kuku.
Benson Rioba reporting for Lunchtime News.
Crypto traders are calling for a review of the digital assets tax barely a month into its implementation, arguing the 3% tax on the value of the digital asset being transferred or exchanged instead of the profits is punitive and threatens to nascent sector. Alan Kaikai, Director, Legal and Blockchain Association of Kenya, says coupled to the lack of regulation may hinder the growth of services associated with blockchain and crypto by crippling innovation.
1st September saw the government implement the digital asset tax that must be paid on earnings obtained from the transfer or trade of digital assets at a rate of 3%. Barely a month in, stakeholders maintain it is eroding gains in the fast-paced fintech sector.
And that coupled up with the 5-day remittance window just makes it very impossible for a lot of guys to operate.
I think there's, as you pointed out, it's a new age. It's a different asset class altogether. It allows for a store of value, a means of exchange, and a means of earning. And I think providing an additional access to a different market would only boost circulation.
Further, they argue that though mandated to regulate crypto, the Capital Markets Authority's sandbox is yet to fully onboard cryptos. The global market capitalization for crypto assets stands at $1.7 trillion, according to Statsia, which is more than 50 times the total market capitalization for all East African bourses combined, which stood at $30.05 billion in the last quarter.
The sandbox to date has never onboarded any crypto-facing project. So the projects that have gone through the sandbox are other fintechs and crowdfunding projects, but we've not seen a crypto exchange, whether it's centralized or decentralized, or a P2P platform, or any form of platform that directly interacts with NFTs or cryptocurrencies in the sandbox.
CMA has, however, raised caution that crypto assets are not yet entirely safe for investors because they are highly volatile and susceptible to hacking.
After the World Coin hearings was that they should deliberately create a framework for onboarding digital assets and crypto technologies in addition to other novel technologies.
Regina Manyara reporting for Lunchtime News.
In sports, Hazel Kuria, Arush Vara and Kushanga Sharma were among the top performers who joined the Junior Golf Foundation of US Kids Golf Tour as the series landed in Thika. Over 136 junior golfers took part in the competition across 14 age categories.
Kushaga Sharma was the best in the boys 15 to 18 years category with impressive score of 79. Aiden Muturi and Jabari Ongwae finished second and third respectively in the competition that attracted 7 golfers. In the girls 15 to 18 years category, Hazel Kuria emerged as the best despite missing her personal target by 2 shots. Teresa Wachira had a rough day but finished third with a score of 93.
I was able to capitalize on the par 3s. My putting was there. I just tried to stay focused, do what I could. Make pars when I can, if not just try for bogey, but yeah. I think there's still more I need to do. I'm not too disappointed. It could have been better, but it also could have been worse.
In the boys 12 years category, Amma Shah was in a class of her own after carding 72 ahead of second place Adiana Gachora and Justin Ngera, who tied on 81.
I started with a birdie, and then the rest of the 9 wasn't the best, but my other 9 was very good. Before I started my round, I always tried to be positive, but when I started, since I wasn't playing well, I didn't think I was going to play it as good as I did.
In other result, Kanana Mudomi was the best in the girls 11 to 12 years category with 77 gross points. She was followed by Nikini Pasha with 82 points and Biakana Dave with 94 gross points. Arush Vara emerged as the winner in the boys 13 to 14 years category with a score of 82. He was one stroke ahead of Nathan Mwangi with 83 points, with the average Rajput and Savisoni tied on 84. Over 136 junior golfers took part in the competition across 14 age categories. King Orimwangi for Lunchtime News.
Further afield, Callum Hudson-Odoi scored a glorious equaliser on his Nottingham Forest debut to earn a Premier League draw against Burnley. In the Spanish La Liga, Girona beat Granada 4-2 to register their fourth straight win in the league.